All right, good evening, everyone. I will be acting as the temporary chairman, and I will call the first meeting of the Mill Creek Township Transition Advisory Committee to order. Please rise for a pledge of allegiance.
Feel very short. I just looked up, all of you are tall.
The next item on our agenda is our organization and election of officers. So we will begin with the chair position. I will accept nominations for a chair. Does anybody want to nominate someone to be chair?
I would like to nominate Tom Laird for chair.
Do we have any other nominations for chair? Hearing none, then I will close the nominations. Tom Laird has been nominated. All in favor of Tom Laird being chair, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Mr. Chair. Would you like to take over from here
Yeah,
then?
thank you. So next, we'll have our vice chair, correct? So is there anyone who would like to nominate for a vice chair?
I'll nominate John.
With John DePlacido? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Anything else? Good. Take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? John, you are our vice chair.
Okay.
And we're having it's a secretary,
Would be
correct,
the
right?
only other.
So I'll take nominations now for a secretary for the committee.
I'll go ahead and nominate Matt.
We'll nominate, I'll second.
Quickly.
All right, we'll just throw this to a vote. All in favor of Matt? Aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, we're good.
Unless you wanted to.
Either or.
Okay, the next order of business is the public comment policy. I'll kind of just open that up right now maybe I'll just throw a couple things that I think, and then we can kind of kick this off. I think this is a pretty important deal, right? I think, what the supervisors have done, a 5-minute period, every single meeting. I liked what we kind of talked about too. If we do go to vote for something in administrative code, I think there should be a second, my opinion, there should be a second, citizens to be heard or to talk about that specifically. The only thing that I would bring up is, I'm not going to fight the non-resident thing. I don't think there's going to be a lot here. I just want to keep it, again, we're not supervisors, right? So I think it should be on our topic, nothing
Yeah.
personal, but what we're discussing, what we're talking, I think that's where kind of my opinion, my head's at. But open for discussion.
I agree that I don't see a lot of people, especially non-residents, so I don't think the residents' issue is an issue.
I agree.
Yeah. But if for some reason someone happened to have a great thought, opinion, and wanted to tell them about how it was done for them, I wouldn't oppose it.
Everyone?
Anything yet?
There are seats
Maybe,
closer
maybe
as well.
grab the mic if.
Maybe we shouldn't be like the church and all sit in the back?
We want to turn the fan on.
I can
Yeah, we can just go to the microphone more, guys, too.
Yeah, let's go to the microphone.
That fan's rattly too.
Well, I think regarding that, I think it should be comments regarding either the agenda or something maybe they heard during the course of the meeting or something, as opposed to just some generic thought that would probably be more appropriate at the supervisors meeting. Because we have no
Yeah,
power
yeah.
to do anything about it,
Yeah.
right?
As long as we stay on subject, too.
Yes, on top.
Scope of work. But here they
Yes.
are. So,
Here's the other thing, too. And again, maybe there could be disagreement here, but I think there should be a little bit of back and forth. Like, I know at the supervisor meetings we're not, but this is going to affect everybody. I know a lot of people want to have opinions. If we want to respond, I think it's fine. I don't think we should have a stoic, and then again, I'm probably getting eyes at me right now, but again, if we don't know, I'm not going to do gotchas. Like, if there's gotcha questions, I'm going to shut that down. If there's anything personal, I would shut that down. But I think if we do have some back and forth, I think that would be healthy with this, and again, as transparent as we can be, but still kind of staying on our guidelines.
Do you want to keep it how we have it and kind of direct questions to chairperson, and if you want to set it to someone else?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I mean, I can kind of buffer, and then, again, this is our committee, so, I mean, people just need to understand, we have zero power, right? I mean, we are here as kind of the group to do the work, to make that bridge perfect, right? To make it easy, so, I mean, as long as we're on point, on topic, I think the back and forth, and if we don't know something, we can bring it to the next meeting.
Yeah, yeah. And also, what about emailing questions ahead of time? If anybody had a question prior from this meeting, let's say they wanted the next meeting, can they email us? Is there a generic email, or just advise to any member of the? Yeah, I mean, the secretary.
I can talk to IT, and we could
Okay,
probably set up
yeah.
an email, whether, transition@millcreektownship.com or something. We could
Yeah,
definitely do
that'd be
that. So
good.
if
So folks
people
can
had
email in.
questions ahead of time or afterwards, that we could address.
One other kind of, I think, transparency question that I had in my notes is when we do get to a point where, I keep using administrative code, I think that's a good example. We kind of agree as a group, we vote on it. That's got to be public before we would, even though, again, we don't have really any say in if that gets instituted, but it's still what we think as a group should go. So how does that?
May I, I'll just, I think a good guideline or process to follow is similar to what we do when we would do like an ordinance amendment, where we announce it, ahead of time, we advertise it, we put it out on the website so the public can see the draft that will be in front of the commission for a recommendation. So they'll have a time to look it over and prepare, and then also make comment on it before we vote.
Is there a set amount of time? Is it like a 72 hours? Or
I
is it-
mean, there's not for this, because this, kind of our
Outside.
own thing. That's
Right.
what we would need to develop. Obviously, for ordinances and things, those are all prescribed by the state. But
Okay.
typically, there's an advertisement and at least 2 weeks of,
Okay.
availability.
Okay, so just getting back to, I guess, the on point, and I'm the one who kind of got us off point there, but when it comes to public comment, so we agree a 5-minute, every meeting, a 5-minute kind of citizens to be heard. If there is anything that we're voting on, there's two citizens to be heard, one on kind of what we'll be voting on, and then really, I don't want to say anything, but anything else that we are dealing with, in that second part. We're fine with answering questions, channeled through me and then to you guys. We're not going to do gotchas. We're not going to do anything personal. But if there is some things that I think we can get really good feedback, because there's a lot of, really smart people here too, that can kind of, I think, help and give us some suggestions as well.
And when you say two public comment periods, you mean like directly before the vote?
Correct, on the
On
agenda.
the agenda items and after.
Okay, so, I mean, do I make a motion to vote for that? Do we,
Yeah, if you would like, I can kind of tell you what I have in my notes.
Yes.
It's just a recap of what you just said, that our comment policy would be 5 minutes per speaker. There will be no restrictions as far as where you reside. That we would have a separate comment period prior to any votes that the committee would take specifically on that item, and that the committee will answer questions if able.
So I'm clear, so that if we have a topic that this group is discussing, then would you close discussion and then leave that comment period after we close our discussion?
if there's just a single comment, like, I mean, I think it's just an agenda item, correct. I think it would be after our discussion.
Okay.
If there's that single. I think that would make sense, not before, but unless there's two of them, because we're going to vote, then we would have that, a citizens to be heard before we would vote, and then we'd have our discussion area, and then there'd be another citizens to be heard if there's two.
Okay.
This email business, now, how would that work?
Well, I mean, we can decide how that works. What I heard was, is there a way that people could email in questions that we could potentially address at a meeting? I think the easiest way to do that would be to have a separate email address for that, just so that I can even set that up so it will auto-forward to everybody when they come in. And so I have to check with IT to make sure that it's available. I'm guessing nobody has transition@millcreektownship.com, so that probably is. But that's something that I could put on the website, any questions, if you'd like an issue addressed at a meeting, please send email to here, and then we can circulate that
Would
as
they
part
be
of
on
the
the agenda?
agenda.
I mean, how would we bring it forth? I mean, it seems pretty difficult. I mean, there may be 100 emails. I don't know.
Yeah.
And how would that work with like an agenda? Because we want to certainly put it in an agenda if we're going to talk about it, answer it.
I was gonna say, kind of like how we have it, now with, what is it, the zoning hearing board, where if someone emails in, like Matt read into the, someone's email in and be like, we can reply and be like, do you want this read in as a comment during comment period, because you can't make it or anything.
And
But some of it they just might wanna communicate with us, like ask a question.
And I would almost guess that we were not going to end up with 100 different individual questions. We're going to have a set of topics, whether it's 5 or 10 things that people are interested in. So we could kind of aggregate those into people ask questions regarding, A and B and C. And
we could probably make that an agenda item if there's a.
Well,
yeah,
if we're going to talk about it, it should be an
Yeah.
agenda.
No, it's good.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To do
Yes.
all that. But anything, it all should be referred to Tom as the chairman. Nobody should answer it, put it that way, as an email.
no,
If they're answering, or they want a question for this committee, it should come from the committee, right?
Would
Through
that
him.
just fall under communications then? Have an agenda item, communications,
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
whatever we receive?
And then we can address it as a group at the meeting in public. All right, we good with this? So I will make a motion to approve our brand-new public comment policy.
Second?
And we're just gonna yay and nay it? All yays?
aye, yay.
Aye. All nays? Okay, good. All right, the next agenda item is the actual working session. I thought, again, I gave everybody kind of we're gonna be all, like I said, we're gonna be all bindered out by the end of this. But again, just as a kickoff point, and then for a start of discussion, there's a couple things that I had, before we even get into kind of the deliverables that we need to do is I think that we need to discuss. Number one was a budget. I know that I don't believe that there is a budget for us for 2026. There could be something for 2027. I had, or my thoughts, again, were, there's best practices was not using the solicitor here. That there was a built-in kind of conflict of interest, even though it's not. We are working under the supervisors, I understand that, but, best practices showed that there's a codifying group that came from outside. I think what the study commission did with the Cranberry Group, with Jerry Andre, I believe was his name, could be very helpful as well. And then again, there's an administrative code that either could come through the codifying group, or it could be an outside group. So those were just three things, again, we have to get that right, and there's no one here that can do that other than some type of outside firm. So again, I just wanted to kind of talk that through, and I don't know if Mill Creek can do like a memo of understanding that we could pay the next budget cycle, but again, what are thoughts on that? Because I don't know how that this gets done without us having some type of budget. I'm not looking at you, but I'm kind of looking at you.
I mean, because of the way this committee's set up, I mean, technically, things could even be requested in this year, but like, obviously, we'd have to change it from different line items, but I think just each individual thing has to be, can we have X, Y, and Z? Now, as far as the solicitor goes, in my mind, previously, I was thinking we would just use our solicitors, because, so the only thing that we do have additional money for this year is they added to our solicitor budget, I'm told. I don't know how much. I don't know if you,
They added?
like, they put more than normal because they assumed something with the government transition would need advice.
Tom, you mentioned that you thought that there could be a conflict using.
I mean,
If it's just the,
in my head, and kind of what the research kind of from the other municipalities was, we're doing something totally different. At what point do you kind of break the cycle or break who you're using? I guess, I mean, again, I'm just one of 7 here, but that's, again, everything that I have seen and found, the municipalities that brought their own group in to codify, help with the administrative code, especially those two things. And also, it's not just codifying ordinances, it's also looking at, codifying almost each department, making sure that,
Wouldn't you want the solicitor who knows all that already?
well, I mean, there's organizations and groups that do that. And again, and maybe we do that. Again, that was my opinion of what I've seen. And again, maybe from a,
Township code things like that thing.
it is. I mean, if you look in here, I have basically all the ordinances and what needs to be changed. Now, it's not just changing one name to another name, it's changing the power structure, and some of these are codified weird, like some says Board of Supervisors, some says Supervisor, some say Township Supervisor, so it's going through that, making sure, and again, if we don't get that right, and again, maybe we do use the solicitor, I'm just throwing out kind of what I've seen.
I agree with you, Tom. I think that, number one, I don't know how we could operate without a budget this year. I mean, we have a lot to do in a short time period. We're only meeting once a month so far. We'd like to
Have
talk
that
about that
discussion, right.
later. But I think to have an outside source come in and help us with the grunt work of looking at all these codes and whatever, and coming in, an experienced group, whoever that may be, to come in and help us, because none of us know what needs to be changed. And the solicitors, they charge quite a bit. I think we do it in a cost-effective way, save taxpayer money by bringing in a third party to help us with this and other things that we'll talk about.
A third-party
Other,
legal firm,
not legal, no.
okay?
Like other groups that have helped us in the past on our previous committee.
Yeah, and there
That
are-
type of group.
there are-
And in Pennsylvania, there's more than one.
Correct, and there are just there are firms that just do this.
Right.
This is all they do. And again, I think what the study guide, that commission did is, again, I'd love to be able to talk to those guys too. And again, not saying we got to pay them what was paid before, but something where we can kind of pick their brain. But I mean, I am very for, having some type of outside codification group, someone to help us with the administrative code that is not here now. But again, that's
With
my
experience that
opinion.
has done it before.
Matt,
those firms that do
what
it.
was the group that did the codification?
Well, we did that with eCode 360. General Code is the name of the company that does it, and that's what they do. We provided them with all our ordinances, and obviously Evan Adair did a lot of work with that too. We've had to pass some things, but prior to our codification in 2016, everything was just individual ordinances. So you had to remember when an ordinance was passed, when it was revised. So the code is a lot simpler.
That might be a good option.
General Code, they may, we could look into that and see if they have
I mean,
those.
they already, they put it together.
What group are you talking? Matt?
General Code is the name of it, and if you look online and look at pretty much, I won't say every, but many of the municipalities in PA, they use General Code. The eCode 360, if you're familiar, if you've seen that, that's General Code. That eCode is their product to run our code, but yeah, General Code is the company.
So they've done this before, you're saying? They're familiar with what we're transitioning to?
I don't know specifically if they've done government transitions, they do
Yeah,
codification
okay.
work, so, yeah.
They'd be familiar with Mill Creek's code.
Existing code, not necessarily what we need
Correct.
January 1st, 2028. Okay. Well, you're going to investigate?
And I will say, it's not rocket science, right? But it needs to be done correctly. And again, like looking through here, there's the research that I would, 325 different references in the code that would definitely need to, at least 325, that would need to be changed, not just in a name, but in a power structure of moving to the paid manager.
What would that group be doing necessarily? Would they be going through those 325, then giving them to us to look over to make sure it's right?
So, yes, and, go ahead, John.
Well, for our opinion, but they would be the experts to say, these are the things they're doing. And then,
Shouldn't it be this way?
and then as a result of that, this committee would recommend that this kind of thing happen, all the different variables.
We'd have to look at each one that they recommend and
Yeah,
Give our
makes
opinion.
sense, that it makes.
And again, that's another reason I think, with the the Cranberry Group, again, to even take a peek at that as well. They've done this a million times, and they were experts at that too. So again, those are really the 2.5 things I think that we have to administrate, but we can't really do, and we can just figure out how to administrate it the right way.
The only thing I would also just say is that the McDonald Illig has done a lot of this already. Like, they've looked at a lot
And
of
maybe
these
we can look
things.
at both. Maybe we can say, hey, I don't want to say throw out an RFP, but I don't, we have a ton of time here. But maybe we can get quotes. I mean, I kind of would love to see,
I mean, getting quotes never hurts.
correct, 100%. I mean, maybe we can go both ways. You know, Matt, what you kind of talk through with them, and again, we can talk to Jerry and talk to those guys about maybe if they have a group, and then, you know, again, using our solicitor, and then let's just see.
I'd say which one comes out cheaper.
Yeah, and again, they're all going to be experts in it, but
With the experience, yes.
Yeah, qualified,
Yeah,
qualified.
qualified. Right.
okay, I mean, I think that we're kind of on the same page with that, correct? I mean, what I kind of wanted to talk through here too, and again, I don't mean to totally dominate this, but, you know, to have, I think, a couple subcommittees with this group, and again, not to put more time on us, but I think we can have more meetings, but we can also, if we have some committees that can kind of handle that or kind of work through some of that, I think could be, you know, could be good. I mean, there's kind of the administrative code, there's the codification, there's the kind of changing the department structure, right? That kind of a group with that. There's obviously a group of, you know, looking at the job description and looking at maybe a search firm. Those are that was the other kind of budgetary thing that I,
Well, one thing I was gonna say, should we cover just kind of our scope of work, what, like, list out everything we're gonna do?
Yeah, correct,
first,
yeah, that-
Which I know was a little bit of, a proposed one was in this draft,
yes.
that, the Matt packet.
Yeah. So, no, and I agree. I mean, this is good stuff, you know, with, I think, Matt, taking kind of what you did here, you know, we have to, you know, number one is the kind of the publication, the public education on the new form of government, right? I think that's, we've been trying to do that. I think that, you know, that's going to come out. That could be its own committee in itself. Again, we just kind of talked about the review of the existing ordinances, looking at some type of codification for those and the changes of those.
Tom, just before we leave public education, is the report of the Government Commission on the website for the transition team? Transition website?
And a link directly on the transition website, I'm not sure. It's easy enough to add. It's on our
You could,
website
I
and
mean-
other place, but I can add the link to,
Some people may not have seen it.
Yep.
It'd be good to have it on.
you're talking about the Government Study Commission
Yeah,
report
yes,
on the
the final
transition
report.
website.
Yeah.
On that public education, I guess, second to last line there, where it says advance of one or both of the 2027 elections. I think that what you're referring to then is either the primary or the general. I would think that it would have to be prior to the primary.
Correct. I mean, I think so,
Sure.
too, right?
And that I think was just if we felt like there were still questions, people were unsure what was happening, how things, right, yeah, for sure. But yeah, either or both,
It's just a
yeah,
prediction of when the questions will come.
right.
That people
Yep.
really wanna have something to hold on to.
And that's the rush of this, right, is to have something in place roughly, so when people are running, they know what they're running for, what they're going to get paid, that whole thing.
Really, we're looking at January of 20.
Or December 31st or January. Correct. Okay, and then again, and I kind of have this tier too, but I think, the compensation for the new council members, I know, we had a conversation of the up to, but I think, that's,
Yeah, I think,
guys had it
yeah, that's a
scoped out
second
really well.
class. I mean, it's all defined, over 35,000, I think it is, it's 8,300 something.
Yep.
So I think that's more or less defined, and when the new board comes in, they can up it, lower it, whatever they want to
Well,
do.
I think that what this is referencing is we would make a recommendation,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah,
Well,
the-
Right.
We would make a recommendation to the supervisor. The supervisors can, I mean, if it's something less than 83, 85, it can't be more. But if it's something less, then the supervisors could look at that.
Well, if I could, so the supervisors will, the current Board of Supervisors will have to adopt that prior to the primary in order for it to take effect for the new election. So I think you're right, Brian, though, the intent was, does this committee want to look at that and make a recommendation to the board as to what that should be? But, you know, ultimately, it'll be up to the Board of Supervisors to pass that.
Well, the Government Commission recommended to look at the code and go with the code. And it happens to be over about $8,300.
Well, like, so, for example, there's one spot in there where they use, I think, an example of $5,000 per, like, in one of the samples toward the end.
Yep.
It uses an example of, oh, say each person is paid $5,000.
Yeah.
But I am fine with, if anyone here is opposed to it, mention it, but I think it should just be that, what is the top 83, 85?
That's, yeah,
I say, is anybody against that?
right. I mean, it seems to be clear, but
Yeah.
we can talk about it.
I mean, we can send in that recommendation now.
Right.
83, 85.
The supervisors can't go higher.
Correct,
Lower,
Right.
but they can't go higher.
Yeah,
correct.
and I'm guessing it'll just be whatever we
Right.
say.
And that's also assuming that the Mill Creek population stays stable.
It's
Well, I don't
it's
see it
under
dropping.
35
Dropping
now, so
15,000,
Right.
yeah. Well,
Jeez, we got a tsunami like this.
No, but, I mean, the formula's based on a population.
Correct.
But I'm just saying, we got 20,000 buffer.
Right, the
No, what
max,
I'm saying is it can't change dramatically.
Right.
the max is 35,000 that the.
All right, we good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, this is, I think, a committee as well, and again, the manager qualifications, I think, you know, we've just, obviously in our heads have definitely had that kind of discussion, right? Making sure that, and I know that there's a lot of things that we've seen from the study guide. I know, you know, Brian, you've kind of, you know, talked through, there's a group that had kind of recommended.
And I see.
So, and again, that's something that's a discussion as well that I think should be a national search firm. You know, I think we need to look everywhere we can for, if we're gonna do this, we gotta do it. So that was really, those were the kind of the three, not to go back to the kind of the budgetary items, but, you know, looking at the codification, looking at, you know, maybe a search firm for that too, but that's a discussion
For the committee.
for the committee, right? And then again, I had that too, Matt, I appreciate, I think that the knowledge transfer for the incoming manager and council is important. And that's probably, I mean, your two babies, but you know, where the keys are and where, you know, everything that maybe there's inside knowledge that the supervisors would just have to be able to make that as easy as possible for a bridge for the next.
Well, so for example, I'll tell you, I attended a number of classes like with newbie supervisors and things like that. Some people got handed a packet 2 weeks beforehand with full of everything they needed. I did not. There was, you know, hey, this is kind of how we do this, that, oh, let me sit down with you. It could be more organized.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's important, and to make sure that that manager can hit the ground running with as much information as possible that is outside of what we would know.
Well, even the new.
Well, supervisors as well.
Yeah,
If I could.
Yeah, please.
I, thanks to Sue Weber, was invited when I first got elected to sit in with the supervisors for at least a month before I took office, which was a godsend, because I was able to find out what supervisors do day to day. And after that point, we tried to do that with every supervisor
Incoming.
afterward. I think that if this committee makes that recommendation, I think that that's something that the current and future supervisors should look at. If it's possible to bring them on board between November, when they get elected, and January 3rd, when they take office, if they can come in and spend some time here, that'd be great.
No, that's good, Brian. I think it's kind of nice to have somebody that's been here a little bit and done that a little bit.
Absolutely, let them sit in and see what's going on.
I think that's part of the structure part of this too, is finding out, you know, how are things gonna change, if they change at all, I'm not sure. But I think at some point, we would want to have access to the people, the managers of all the departments or something. What are you doing, how are you doing? And maybe something even separate from each department, to Brian's point, to bring to these, you know, supervisor-elects and say, here's kind of what's gonna happen, here's how it is now, and let them get that information ahead of time.
Yeah.
Getting back to PSATs, the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors, they offer what's called a boot camp, where you able to attend that. It's for new supervisors, and it's also for managers who are going to be working with new supervisors, so that they can go and spend, I think it's just one day.
It was 3 days, it was three days, one Saturday with 1 month in between each of them. I will say I don't think it was the most useful thing.
No? Okay.
But that would be available for any new board
Yeah, I'm
members.
assuming who's new
Right,
would do
yeah.
it. But
Okay.
I don't, it's not gonna cover all the bases.
And the only thing that I had, Matt, that you did not have, we kind of ham and egged perfectly on that is, so there's at the January, 3rd, when the new team comes in, right, there's all of the kind of the commissions, the planning commission, the zoning commission. I don't want to say cease to exist, but I think membership ceases to exist. Is that that's the best way to put it? So I think the other thing that we need to do, again, looking at a 30 or 60-day holdover, so that the new manager can make that decision on who should be on there, but that there's at least somebody that's there staffing that.
We're gonna make a recommendation not to dump everybody.
I think we have, I think we have to do
I think we need to,
like, yeah,
Absolutely.
correct.
that, you know,
You're just talking about how we do it, right?
Correct. I mean, we're just gonna present it, I mean, I don't know if it's an ordinance that we, like, say, or it's a 60-day,
but that's in the code. I mean, that's in the code, that's not a choice, right?
well, if we did nothing, it would be done.
Yeah.
Right, so we have to at least say, hey,
Don't do that.
don't do that, right? At least let the new manager pick, but
Yeah.
it's not empty, so we don't,
Here, it's the Act 573165, abolishment of existing appointive offices. And at the end, they say, any such resolution, use of resolution to govern interim proceedings, provisions for officers and for the organization of administration of the municipal government under the optional plan may be made by resolution pending the adoption of ordinances, but any such
resolution.
no longer than 60 days. Just say, keep
An
them in
interim
place for
thing,
60
yeah.
days.
An interim.
Till the new guys take over.
And they could reappoint everybody.
Yeah.
But it's up to them then. Right. So, again, I think we're on the same page here with the administrative code needs change, right? Looking at the, kind of the personnel rules or kind of that, making sure that that's codified, the manager framework, the institutional knowledge, kind of the resolution, and I think the kind of the public knowledge that you had there too, is really the scope of everything that we need to present at the end of this, to make that bridge as easy as humanly possible.
So one thing I was thinking then, if we wanted to go from that and then kind of make our timeline, because, I mean, I know you mentioned a couple times we need to have it done by 2027, but not all of this.
Not everything, correct.
Like,
Yeah.
I think we should give ourselves this due by when, this one due by then.
No, I agree. And I'd also love to see, I think, some committees with this as well. I mean, we don't have a ton of time to be able to kind of split kind of duties here and have, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe we don't need, maybe we do need or don't need another meeting per month. But if we're kind of working through this stuff,
Are you suggesting that maybe we have like a subcommittee?
Yes.
To put together, possible search firms?
correct. So, correct, there'd be, I mean, I have a kind of the administrative code group, right? And, or maybe have administrative code and codification group that, again, let's go out, let's go find those 3 quotes. Let's kind of work with them to do that. Like, there's a subcommittee for that. I think, there's the supervisor kind of knowledge, right? That's another group. There is kind of the job description, as you're saying, Brian, like, let's make sure that we find a search firm. Let's make sure that we agree kind of to the job functions of that. Make sure that that's kind of followed through.
The only one I would probably say, I mean, compensation, we already cleared that now.
Yeah.
So I guess the only other one I would say is the one of the manager qualifications. I think that's important enough that maybe it shouldn't be a subgroup, it should be
A group.
everybody.
And I think those are two separate things, right? So the manager qualifications, we have to agree as a group. I agree. But I'm saying the actual kind of going out, right? The search firm. If we do a search firm, again, if we
Well,
do it.
and a search firm, I mean, typically what, we put out the RFP, they put in the bids, they come to us, but I mean, what would our job be exactly, like, to go like, oh, I wanna make sure, hey, you guys, can you?
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying it's an hour meeting, but just that there's a couple people that are, kind of, we're watching that or we're responsible for that. And again, we're gonna talk about that at every single meeting, but I think especially the kind of that administrative code, looking at that, I think
that's gonna be
is really that's the meat and potatoes of really what we're doing.
If I could, just a
Yeah.
couple things. Going back to the manager search firm, I think a big thing for the committee or subcommittee to do would be to evaluate any proposals that we got too and make a recommendation to the
Right.
board as to who to hire. And then the knowledge transfer, definitely, I will say the reason I ordered it the way it did with that kind of at the end is there's certain, obviously certain things about who's in the department, what they do normally day to day, but there will be some, what is the status of current projects, what's in the budget that can't really be done today for
the end.
2028. So a lot of that'll be kind of more late breaking or be more topical towards the mid, maybe third quarter of 2027, but.
I don't know if this is the time to float it out there. but,
Float it.
I just kind of wondered where other people's heads were at. I imagine in an ideal situation, we will have the manager search firm, they'll get the, 3-5 good candidates, and then, maybe have them make public presentations, let the public meet them and everything. And then once the general election has occurred and we know who will be the next supervisors, let them together almost be a committee to choose someone. That way the manager could literally start on January 3rd. I don't know. I don't know if that's 100% allowed.
That should be the way it works.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
the
would
new
be the-
council
that'd be
should
the
hire the
goal.
new manager.
Well, some other
But be-
people I had met had suggested, oh, we'll have all the 3 to 5 candidates ready for them to interview on January 3rd. I'm like, well, as of November, 5th or something, we're
Yeah.
gonna know who it is.
Right after the primary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or right after the general.
Yeah. So, in that time frame, we could ask them to take a little bit of their time and,
It won't be official, but
yeah,
they'll
yeah,
have,
just
they'll have the
to make
information
sure it's not
ready to go.
voted down on
Right.
immediately.
And the biggest thing is getting a good candidate, that we don't lose someone, who's out there. So that's my biggest fear, that we get our job description right, we get it posted, and it's out there, so.
Well, I mean, and that's a lot with the administrative code too, of how they're kept, there are some discussions between, having a majority or a supermajority the administrative code is pretty much written relatively for us, but there are some decisions that we can make, or not decisions, but at least recommendations, I gotta use that, recommendations that we can give, that I think would make more sense for Mill Creek. And it's not just a real, I guess, cut and dry, right? There is some nuance to kind of how that administrative code will affect us.
I mean, I do just want to, remind everybody that because of the way that this happened with the referendum and the following the optional plans law, there are certain things that are not
Correct.
optional, duties of the manager, duties of the council. Because this was mandated, we have to kind of follow those, so.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of
There's
nuance.
flexibility around those, and, you can do some things more, as far as residency requirements and things like that, but.
And I think that's what I'm saying, Matt, is again, I think we all know that, again, that the manager runs the show, right? And everything's gonna really kind of go through that, and I think we've kind of, we get that. But there are those smaller nuances, right? Like you said, do they have to be Mill Creek resident? Is it a majority or supermajority? Little things like that I think we can have as a group, at least to recommend what we think is right.
And the commission report, the government commission report was voted on by the electorate. So it does have some meaning.
Oh, yeah, I think that's,
Recommendations within that. were voted on.
Right, and I think that's kind of what I was trying to say, is we're in a certain way locked into
Yeah,
a lot of
right.
this stuff because
Right.
it happened that way, just a reminder.
And just, again, on the stuff that I gave you guys, there is the recommendations of the study group and kind of where we stand with that. I think everything that they have said, we have, at least we've discussed or talked about. And so, I mean, all of this is getting checked off. I mean, I think, Matt, we kind of took what they said to the things that we needed to do. And I think it all kind of really works together where, we're going to hit those 12 things, but still make sure that we're hitting these things as well.
Tom, do we want to put formal names to these committees? And maybe
Yeah, I mean,
ask people what
are
they
you in
wanna do?
agreement? Is everybody in agreement? Kind of I mean, I think that makes sense. You don't have to be in agreement.
Yeah. Again, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Just because I was trying to take notes, I wrote some things down.
Yes.
I'll propose them. Subcommittees, administrative code, knowledge transfer, and manager search were the three that I had written, and feel free to change those or.
Did that include structure, Matt?
The administrative code was kind of all of,
Okay.
all of that, the
And the
code,
ordinances
what needs to be
and all
done.
that business?
Yes, we could call it administrative code and ordinances if
Yeah.
you'd like that.
Right.
That's another one where it's such a big job, I almost don't know, is that really a subcommittee or does everyone look at it?
I mean, yes and no, because there's not a lot we can actually do, right? I mean, I think it's facilitating the right group to get it really was that, I mean, in my mind, what that committee would be doing. And then, I mean, obviously not just stopping there, but at least at the beginning. Again, making sure that we're there. And again, this all still boils back to some type of budgeting or some type of budget or
Just gonna say, I don't know that that'll pass. For specifically someone to do the administrative code. Just because, I mean, we've worked with Mark already, and he has identified these ones already, and
There's still a lot to do. I mean, from that
Yes.
information we have, he's given us, I don't know, 12, 15, whatever they are to look at. But now somebody's got to go in and look at them. And I imagine there's others that have to be looked at. And I think, again, we could do it more cost effectively by either bidding it out or a third party, whatever, but a third party. And then bring it back, and if he needs to review it, well, okay.
yeah.
I think the quote idea is the way to go, because that way if McDonald Dilly, knowing that they've already done a lot of work, wants to finish this, then take that into account when you give us your quote.
I think 100%. If we just give it to them, it's going to be at the highest level, the most expensive. I mean, but we have options. I guess we might have a ton of options, but there's,
The company that Matt mentioned,
General code.
General Code, they've done a lot of work in the past, so they've probably got a lot of stuff on their computers already, that they can just look at and say, okay, here's a quote on that.
I mean, yeah, it would be nice if someone, like, because I get the feeling they're gonna bid for hourly work, right? It would be nice if someone just gave I will take care of this with this X number of dollars.
Oh, yeah, we don't want hourly, we want.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't
I mean,
want time
I think you know what we have. Like, it's all there. It's not like, there's a question. I mean, they should know, like, hey, they have, these many ordinances, this needs to change, here's our bid for that. I mean, I think that makes sense. But
And then would the idea be, then we go back to the supervisor?
I think you have to, right? So we would get that, have that done, whether right. We have that, and then they give us that, it's all, we think it's codified. I'm sure the solicitor's gonna have to look at it, right? Because the supervisors are gonna have to vote on it.
You mean the quote?
No, not the quote, the final,
The new supervisor.
so the new supervisor, that's right. But I'm sure the solicitor's gonna look at it.
Oh, yeah.
So before that, they would vote on it. So, but still, I think, again, like I said, everyone who's kind of done this really, really well, they have not used the internal solicitor. And it's kind of like our thing.
When you say really, really well, who?
So there's multiple municipalities that have done this the right way. There's other ones that have kind of screwed up. They either tried to do it themselves, they've tried to we're not even close to there. they left things out, again, that weren't part of the law, so they really didn't follow the law, but still passed things. I'm just trying to make sure that, again, we have one shot at this. So whether it's our solicitor or their solicitor, let's just make sure that that gets done the most cost-effective way, but also the best possible way with, I would love to see just an outside firm that actually does this.
That
I mean,
specializes in
that
it.
specializes in this. That's, I mean, I'm one of 7 here, but that's where my opinion is on that.
Is that what these, appendixes are?
So what I looked at, the study commission had College Township, and they had Indiana, and that's their administrative code. That kind of was kind of called out as, I don't want to say the 5-star,
As- okay,
the
this
gold
is the
star.
done right.
Yeah, so
If
this.
not, one was right.
Correct. I didn't throw the wrongs. I do have the wrongs too, but I only put the 2 rights in here. There is a little bit of nuance, but not really. They're kind of the same. So we're not starting again at scratch. I mean, a lot of this work has been done. There's just the small nuance that we have, but I'm not as concerned about that as I am even the just making sure that we have everything codified right, and that there's no one's gonna have a lawsuit later on because of, we forgot a time.
I don't think it's brain surgery to do this.
Right.
I just think if you have the experience and you know how it should read, that it'll be okay. And then review it legally or whatever. I don't think we need that right up front. I think it's easy enough, not easy, easy for somebody to do, third party, to get the nuts and bolts done, that's all.
Well, do we need an RFP?
Yeah.
Well, we need money first.
Well, and that's where it is, I think everything would go through the board directly, like, it's not gonna be, here's $10,000, it's gonna be like, here, we asked these ones for bids, and you guys will do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all this has
yeah.
to come through you guys.
Yeah,
But that's a possibility? I mean, from a budgetary standpoint and from,
we'd have to run some math, yeah.
well, even with if the solicitor was paid more for this, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
can
what
that,
I'm saying.
can that be?
I don't know what it
pulled?
was, what the amount was.
Okay.
They all, I wasn't here when the budget was made.
Okay, well, I mean, that's something that we're gonna have to know. I mean, before we can really, I mean, now we can go out and still do things. We can still go out and I think there should be an RFP for those 2 things especially, for the administrative, and maybe it's the same group, but for the administrative code and for the codification, using what the group that Matt said, and maybe we do talk to McDonald Illig, and then we go out and talk to Jerry, and we get a 3rd group to kind of go bid on. I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
But to put out an RFP doesn't cost any money.
That's what I mean. No, we can do that now. So we do that now. Let Kaylee work your magic, and see if we can, I think, get that done.
If we don't have a budget, I'm not sure, honestly, what we can do.
Right.
I mean, we sit around and talk, but to get something done, we need a budget of some sort. Or authorization, however you want to call it.
I call it more authorization.
Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever it is.
I mean, is there things, and again, everybody in this room might laugh at me right now, but can Mill Creek back an MOU or something like that for the next budget cycle? Like, I mean, I'm sure some of these groups have dealt with budgets from a township, or, I mean, is that a ridiculous thing? To say that that next budget cycle, but I mean, again, we really can't
We have no power. Anything we want to do, the
Yeah.
supervisor, we are in a sense the supervisors.
agree.
conscience.
I'm saying from them,
They have to approve everything. I mean, they approve everything now.
100%, I agree.
They can't just say, here's $5,000, do what you want with it. They can't. They have to know everything.
We would have everything.
Yeah, we'd have a
We'd have
RFP.
everything. I'm saying we'd have the RFP, we'd have it all, we'd have, hey, this is what we're going to recommend, right? If there's no budget for it right now, can we have that understanding that it will be in the next budget, in an MO, something like that, when we have, again, I don't want to do that, but agreed, if there's no budget, then this is very difficult to really do the things that we need to do.
It's on E-code. You have to go to, yeah.
Probably not.
I think they, thought we would just, anything we want, they would have to say yes or no to it.
Well, I'm okay with the yes or no, as long as there can be a yes, right? Like,
There can be a yes.
right, right. Well, okay, but bottom line is, I mean, we're not gonna make, that decision's not gonna be done today, but we can do those things. So let's do, 2 committees right now. Let's do that administrative code. Let's do that kind of codification committee. Let's come up and meet and have some type of RFP that we can kind of throw out. And that, I think, is a working session for that subcommittee. Let's get it out to those, I don't know, maybe those 3 groups, or if we talk to, I mean, you know Jerry pretty well too, you could maybe get that 3rd group.
Sure.
I'd like to also, I really would like to bring them on as well. I mean, but at this point, I think we can do those things without a budget.
Yeah, I think right now we could start the RFP process. That'll
Yep.
keep us busy. We can start thinking about the other stuff. But sooner than later, we're gonna have to have some support to hire someone, or have this township hire them for us.
Right.
After you put out the RFP,
Yeah,
you get those
right.
back in, and now you say, okay, here, this is the one that we think is
Yeah,
the best deal.
And I think McDonald should be a part of it, right? Let's see what they say. Maybe that'll be like, all right, well, at least we're not just rubber stamping it.
the structure, I think we could start some work on that without too much issue. I mean, start to talk about it, how we want it formatted and all that business.
The structure of the code?
No, structure of how the new town operations are going to be.
Is that,
Well, is some going to change in the, for the sewer department, or for the, like the job descriptions? Or any of those going to change? That's what I'm calling structure.
yeah, I mean, as far as job descriptions, I guess I didn't,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they, it won't be our,
Like a
Yeah,
manager
like-
could change.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
okay,
a
that's,
manager change,
yeah.
Things like that.
The way the org chart, and I think I shared an org chart with everybody,
Yeah,
the directors are the ones that report directly to the Board of Supervisors now, and then everybody else reports up to a director. Obviously, I think, Tom, you mentioned in yours that at least the directors' job descriptions need to change about who they report to. They
Correct.
would then report to the manager.
and I wouldn't say job description, but something that would say who they would
Yeah, I mean-
report to, right? The chain of command,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And that
but I
need-
mean,
and again,
that's an,
that was
org
the other,
chart.
that was the other kind of best practices, not just kind of,
Oh, we're talking, so in here,
yeah, correct.
yeah.
how right now we've got board
Yeah.
of supervisors, that it would, I mean, essentially this goes manager,
Right.
and then, yeah,
And then the manager, all of those departments will report to the manager.
So that structure would change.
And I think, and John, I would say that the administrative code's will spell that out,
Okay.
right? And then, each of the departments then would just codify that they now report to the manager, because right now it does not say that. So that's part of it's not the codification of the ordinances, it's just the changing of the department structure that still needs to be spelled out in the actual code. So to your point, yeah, I mean, that's,
It's just part of it, that's all.
yeah.
Just try to understand.
Okay. I mean, I think that those are, even right now, I mean, I think it would be, if we have 2 kind of committees, one again, if we want to do an administrative code and kind of the codifying of the ordinances, at least get the RFPs, let's do something that we can do as much as we possibly can. There's some questions I have too is the codifying group, can they do the administrative code too? Are they 2 separate things? I mean, that's something I think that needs to be scoped out a little bit. I think both of them can be done by the same group, but again, your group probably would not do that, Matt?
Well, my group meaning.
I don't mean your group, but
Oh,
with
general?
E-code, yeah. I like to call them your group.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So actually, general code will do the codification, the way, I mean, they do it for us.
Right, but I'm saying
now
the
in-
administrative code then.
Writing the code, I don't know that they do. I
Right,
mean, I can research and see if those are services they offer,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Okay, I mean, that's what that group I think is really gonna need to And I think that's where Jerry would come in to be helpful as well.
Jerry has an RFP all ready to go.
Yeah,
Why don't we talk about committee members?
yeah. All right, so we agree then again, we'll have that kind of, that, I think we can do a, kind of a job description as well. I mean, I think we should move on that as well, even getting a job description and maybe finding the right search firm as well. I mean, that needs to be done kind of in unison as we're kind of figuring those things out. And then again, Matt, and maybe you guys are part of just your own little group of kind of getting together. And again, I know a lot of this stuff has to be done at the end, but starting to get together some of that internal knowledge that you guys have. And again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just starting to put things together.
Sure.
Before the meeting, I mentioned to Matt that there was information on things like the zoning hearing board and planning commission that could go into that packet or whatever for, I think someone called it the onboarding binder.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that's gonna have to,
You're saying for the manager or for the next supervisors that come on?
both.
Right. Right.
I think even more for the manager.
Yeah.
They got,
Although I would think that a manager that this township would look to hire would be well experienced and knowledgeable about all of that.
Right. With how big we are.
Yeah. Whereas a new supervisor,
All right, well, let's do this then. I mean, who would like, I'll just kind of throw it out there, right? You know, the, kind of that, what are we calling it, the administrative codification?
Ordinance?
Yeah, I said add administrative code and ordinances. That's how I wrote it, but does people like that?
All right, John would like to be on that. I would like to be on that too, Matt.
Volunteer. You want me to take a vote?
I think we just volunteer for this, right?
All for it.
You know, a lot of this work is not gonna get done at the meeting, it's between meetings, where all the real work happens. Phone calls, time.
You know, I will say that.
3 people?
3 people. would be
So
your limit.
we'll have to still do it here, which is fine. So even if we kind of just, you know, it's a half hour, it's an hour. You know, but again, to your point, we're gonna have to do some work, make phone calls and things.
Yeah, right. That's the way it is, okay.
All right, and then the other committee with kind of looking at the search firm, looking at the job descriptions, looking at the manager qualifications.
I mean, yeah, I've read a lot of ICMA stuff already.
Okay, yeah, Brian, I think you were. Anybody else?
Not to stick you, a lot of times the chair is on all the subcommittees.
Throw me on there.
You don't have to be.
Let's go, that sounds awesome.
He snuck that in there.
Not to me. Okay. I think that's a relatively good start for, I mean, there's a plan here, at least for the administrative code, for what we can do now for the codifying, for the departments. There's a plan here for the supervisor knowledge, and again, you guys are just maybe your own
I
party of
volunteered
two.
myself for that one.
Right, there is a plan now for the job description, for the manager qualifications, kind of a working group, and looking at a search firm as well. And I think, you know, there's groups out there, and again, maybe Jerry can help with that as well. I'm sure that they would have some of that knowledge. And then really, I mean, that's the meat.
Well, and I was gonna say, is regarding the order that these need to get done, I'd imagine it's probably code first, then manager, then binders,
Code/ordinance.
ordinance.
Yeah,
I think that'll be the longest one.
yeah, that's gotta get done.
Yeah.
That's gotta get done sooner than later.
Doesn't stop us from starting.
No, no,
No, we can still get going on
yeah, it can be ongoing.
it.
And then, again, we can, as we get down the road here, you know, look at, you know, some of those other ordinances and things that we would have to do to maybe keep that 30 or 60-day bridge and do those kind of things. And I'm sure there's gonna be some other things that come up here too, but. So right now, we're just trying to do as much as we possibly can until we can figure out the budgetary aspect, but I think that's a good start on kind of hitting what the government study committee kind of had, what Matt you had, and then kind of what I've looked at as well.
Good time to bring up of the meeting during the course of a month?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather start strong, and then if we need to soften later. I mean, that's up to you guys, but I mean, if we want to do, and again, maybe they're agenda item driven, you know, with certain specific things, but again, we really have these 4 or 5 things that we gotta, you know, talk through and hit.
We better get together as subcommittees.
I think probably to the first, we're not gonna have much to talk through, but just in general, I think, you know, 2 meetings maybe at least for the next 3 months, with those subcommittees, I think would make sense. I mean, if that's,
The subcommittees or everybody?
I think 2 with everybody for the next 3 months, and then we can see where we're at, and then maybe back it down. I think let's just go at this as hard as we possibly can for the first 90 days. And then, again, let's not schedule anything until we have a subcommittee meeting with both of those groups so that we can actually have something to bring to that. But I think that'll keep us on track too and push us a little bit to get as much done as we can, as early as we can.
So right now, we're already scheduled, what, 6/4, 7/2?
I mean, do you guys, is there agreement, disagreement with that? Are you,
So are you looking at having a subcommittee meeting prior then to the?
I think,
full meeting?
yes, I think there should be
So we need to set that up.
a subcommittee meeting, correct.
Yeah, Tuesday before the Thursday
And that
meeting.
probably should be done honestly sooner than later, just so that we can, because there's gonna have to be work that's done outside of that meeting, right? With phone calls and setting some of that stuff up.
Well, it doesn't have to be done here. I mean, it's a subcommittee, 3 people.
I mean, I don't, Sunshine, Law, how does that, Matt, I mean, I think it's 3.
You can have 3,
No, 4's quorum.
4, so 3 we don't have, okay,
yeah. I mean, if you want to meet somewhere.
okay,
And,
Rather than schedule a
Okay.
room.
yeah, and the assumption would be that whatever a subcommittee does gets reported back to the full committee at a regular.
correct,
meeting
okay.
For everyone.
okay. All right, well, I think that helps, maybe a little bit of the flexibility of getting that stuff done. And then I think it's more important then that we do have that second meeting so that we can kind of talk through some of that stuff too.
Well, it helps with communication with supervisor, you know, with how are we going to get things done monetarily.
You're gonna be all meetinged out. Okay, so do we want to schedule that now, Matt? Do we want to just wait and, I mean,
Well, we can look, yes, but now what are we scheduling? We're scheduling another full committee meeting.
I think that's what we need to schedule, and then the subcommittees we can probably schedule
In
on our
between.
own. Yeah.
In the middle of, another one for June, is that what
I would say
you're-
at the end of June.
Well, so we'll have one July 2nd, that's already been scheduled, it would be June 18th would be the 2 in.
What's today? The
You don't have enough time to advertise for another meeting for this month.
Oh, yeah.
We do,
Is it
yeah, you
like-
only have to give 24 hours. I mean, it wouldn't be a special meeting, but we have 2 weeks, so we do have enough time.
All right, or we have our meeting today. Everybody meets on their subcommittee meeting. We meet July 2nd, and then we definitely have a second meeting in July. If you guys don't think that there's enough time, I don't know why
What day are you looking at?
I don't know. I mean, any day at
I'm
the
looking at
end.
June
Any
18th.
event.
Yeah,
No, he's saying not a second meeting in June.
I mean, we definitely, I would prefer a second meeting in June, but I feel like,
I think it's important to have another
Okay.
June meeting.
Well, so that's the one that's just 2 weeks apart, everything else. If you put it the 25th, then we're gonna be right the next week.
Yep,
We'll do
okay.
the next one.
all right, so we're looking June 18th then. That's what we're saying then for the second meeting?
Yeah.
And then these subcommittees can meet next week, and then we'll have our second meeting then on the 18th. And then let's do that same thing in July and,
Okay,
Yes.
1 second. So June 18th,
Yep.
we're going to have a full meeting, 7 PM here.
and at that time, we should at least have something on those topics to talk about in 2 weeks from now.
So when we move into July, when we look at July 20th would be, is that right? No.
It's a
I'm
Monday.
sorry, July 16th, this room is occupied with a Fire and EMS Commission meeting.
But that is the week that there are 5 Thursdays, so how about the 23rd?
23rd is
And then there's still 2
available.
weeks before the next one.
So July 23rd.
In. Okay. And then that'll give us enough meetings, and I think sub-meetings too, to where that meeting should be interesting, because we should have some things, hopefully.
So you're looking at, wait a minute, let's make sure I understand. July 2nd, we're going to keep that regular meeting?
Correct.
And then you were looking at another meeting in July?
The 23rd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be around for that.
I mean, that, we will run into that. It is the
Yeah.
summer, so, there's some that we're not unfortunately going to have everybody available for, I know.
If it's just a matter of being physically out of town.
True, right, okay.
But if you don't want to.
No, I'm going to be in Toronto, but I could,
Okay.
Multinational Commission.
from Toronto.
Okay, so we have to put these in the paper for the advertisement, so right now we just want to add those two in.
I think so, and then,
18 and 23.
yep,
Okay.
and then we'll see where we're at. And then, and then we can all, those committees will just all, they're gonna have to meet next week, right? And get that stuff kicked off. So
Hopefully
that,
come up with some timelines,
and I think that's the next,
yeah.
but it's, yes. I mean, we'll have to definitely have some time, and again, there are some in here that tie back, because some of them, again, go before the primary, some of them will go December 31st, some of them will go all the way until, when that next kind of election cycle happens, but,
are we looking at June 11th for a subcommittee meeting?
Y'all can figure that out.
we can talk on our own.
Committee figures that out,
Okay.
where they want to meet.
Quick thought, since we already decided on what the 83, 85, can we make that the first official recommendation?
Well,
Oh.
I'm going to put my attorney hat on. That wasn't an agenda item, and so I don't know if we can add something that we're voting on. It will just be a recommendation. Wait, are you talking about right now?
Yeah, like we could vote to make that is going to be our recommendation to the board, and it will not get on the agenda for Tuesday.
I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about this committee. Can we vote even to make a recommendation on something that is not listed
I think there's
on the
plenty of time.
agenda?
I think we have it too.
We have time.
And we'll make it.
Yeah, if we could do it at the 18th,
I know. No, I like it.
we can add that.
All right, are we, everybody's in a good place with that? All right, so we're ready to move on to the next agenda item here? So we kind of have our goals, assignments for next meeting, kind of, we just hit that, and then we get to test out our first citizens to be heard policy. If anyone would like to speak?
Sue Weber, 5338 Norris Drive. First of all, I want to thank you all for what you're doing. Thank you so much. I just got a message from Kim Huff. This is accidentally being broadcast live under the supervisors meeting. It should say transition committee meeting. So I don't know. She just sent me that. It's up and broadcasting live under the wrong thing. So I don't know how you fix that. I'm not technical about that.
We got upgraded.
I just wanted to mention a couple of things. I agree with you. An RFP needs to be put out for the codification. And so some of the people that would probably answer that are the Pennsylvania Economy League, Allegheny League of Municipalities, and General Code. They're just a few of them. And you're asking, well, in that, you should have, please list the approximate number of hours that you think this is going to take you and what your hourly rate is. Give us some kind of approximation. It's got to be less than the $310 an hour that Mark Shaw charges. And, right, and thank you, 315. And to me, transfer it from the legal fees line item of the Mill Creek Supervisor's budget. Take it out of there, put it in a transition committee budget, and then if you end up with legal fees, you need more legal fee money at the end of the year, we'll just transfer it back into there, but it's gotta be cheaper than that, okay? And I wanted to make a suggestion to you. Just like the alternates on the study commission served on their subcommittees, they did a lot of work. on their subcommittees. You could think about appointing some of the people who applied and didn't get selected, like Jim Dedad, who's a financial guru, and John Grow, who teaches across the Commonwealth and has familiarity with some of these agencies. You could ask them to serve on subcommittees. You're allowed to do that. That's just a suggestion. Also, you don't need to rewrite the manager description. Middletown just hired a manager. The study commission's favorite manager that they interviewed, her name was Stephanie Tioli Cools. John remembers her. She had been there for 13 years, and I believe she taught in the Masters of Public Administration. Was it at Villanova, John? Villanova. Very sharp, very sharp. And she just left to start her own.
You did bring that.
Right, she did. So that's done. The brochure is done. They did a beautiful job of advertising. Right, she gave it. That's all been done. You don't have to reinvent. They're a large township, and they did a beautiful job of that. They had the description to a T. They had a brochure about their township. It was really done well. Yeah, we have a copy of it. Also, John, after the election, after the question passed, Jerry Andre arranged a meeting with the study commission and the Meadville city manager, which is a real sharp woman. She has an onboarding manual for council members that she already created. And it was very comprehensive and very good. Something like what you're talking about, Brian. She has that, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel. She has that, and she did a really good job. The only other two comments I'd like to make is, who's taking care of the election issue on the ballot? Like how many signatures you need to run for council? Who's meeting with Tom Tallarico down there and getting this set up? I mean, you're gonna get to January and people aren't even gonna know how they run for council, how many signatures they need on a petition. How do you run for the 2-year versus the 4-year? I think maybe.
Sue, I will say this.
I don't know.
We have been told that was already taken care of.
I don't know. I'm
So the solicitor, actually it was your question. John did ask that specific question. He said everything has absolutely been taken care of. They've met with everybody, and we don't have to do anything. Now we can check on that.
Good.
But he did say that.
No, I didn't know. I just asked.
Right.
The
No, it's a
only
good
other
question.
thing I'd like to say is, I don't really feel, this is just me personally, and Art Olagier, I think, spoke about it at the last supervisors meeting. The supervisors should not be creating any new positions. I don't mean filling existing positions when people leave. Before the township manager becomes appointed. I mean, you shouldn't be doing that because you don't know. The township manager will be looking over the organization, getting to know it, and then he'll be deciding if he wants to recommend to council some reorganization. But you're taking that power away. I cannot believe that they appointed a new position that pays $70,000. They stuck it under communications, just hid it under there. People didn't know about it. So this is 2 positions they're creating now, which are high paying, and they just shouldn't be doing that. And I'm wondering if you agree with that. I'm just saying this.
No,
if you agree with that, if you people might want to get together and send a little notification to the township supervisors that, in your opinion, you don't think they should be creating new positions. Let a township manager, when they come on board, decide if you need new positions, because you're doing that now, and you're
No,
creating.
Sue,
right.
I hear you.
I don't know.
I mean, we really have nothing. I mean, we can do that. We have zero.
Oh, I know
power,
that. I know that.
Right. So, and again, we don't have any say in that. So, again,
know
just
that.
love to keep it kind of what we're doing. But I hear your point. I do.
Right, because when you do that, and I agree with you, when they do that, though, it takes a manager, and again, it creates things that maybe he would have looked over everything and not created that position.
No,
So
I understand.
it's
There
just
is some
odd-
carryover,
Right,
but
and that, you don't have control of that.
I hear
But,
you.
Again, it's just odd that between the question passing and the new government taking place, now they're creating these new positions, which is not good for the taxpayers, but that's beyond your control. Anyway, thank you so much for being here and all the time and effort you're putting into this. I really appreciate it, and I know everybody else does too.
Thanks, Sue.
Jerry Svinio. She stood here and spoke the stuff that you should have quashed. Has nothing to do with what you're doing, and you said it. Talking about.
Well, listen, I hear you. Can I get maybe a little bit of leeway? It's the first meeting.
Sure.
Right?
Gotcha.
We had a lot of discussions with that. I think, again, probably should be squashed and probably will be in the future. So again, I hear what you're saying, but we'll make sure that does happen.
Now, I sat here and this gentleman that was just behind me, or he's standing back there, said this decision was made by the most uninformed electorate in Mill Creek.
Okay, hey, listen, guys, again, we want to talk about what we're doing. Like, again.
All right. All right. Is there any money left over from their budget?
I have no idea.
He's sitting right there.
From what, there's,
I don't know what it has to do with this.
there's nothing to do with what, again, all we're doing is trying to work a study committee.
Okay, and I'll ask it at the supervisors meeting.
Yeah, correct.
Is that what you want? But they had money, as of I knew, left over from their
But it has not, but
study.
again, even if they did, that has
You're
nothing to do
asking
with
for
us.
it.
That would be from, but it'd still have to come from the supervisors. We couldn't just take the money from their budget.
I'm
so-
just bringing it up. to
Yeah,
you.
no, I appreciate it. And maybe that is something that we can look at, but
You know, this wasn't supposed to be a big deal. If you actually read and listened to all the meetings, Mr. Pros, and you can laugh all you want. You laughed before. This was not going to be a long, drawn-out thing because the committee informed us of that. But we were warned of it. Just so you know.
all
Thank
right.
you.
Yep, no, thank you.
This is what you get.
Hi, RJ Zona, 1117 Apple Tree Lane in Bell Valley. I just wanted to welcome you all. Thank you for taking your time and your talents for the common good. And I urge you to work together, to communicate, and to do what you can to move this plan forward. The one thing I've heard in this meeting is the confusion between council and supervisors. I think the new form is council, right? Council members, council women, council, not supervisors. There's going to be no new supervisors. They will be council members. And I just think we need to start talking in that language. So I wish you all the best. If we can be of any help, I hope that you would call on us. Thank you.
Thanks, RJ.
Hey, Matt? Yeah. Do you want to take this here? Oh, you,
Candy Horn, I live on Grant Avenue. I have a couple questions. First of all, how many people here have read, not just read, but studied the 55-page Government Study Commission? Okay, I'm not just saying reading it. I mean, did you look at all the differences in the townships and what other townships had, even like when it comes to prices for our solicitor? Because you were talking about maybe using the solicitor for this group. Would it not be better to have a fresh pair of eyes? I don't know if that could come under some other.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna go look
Okay.
and at least send some RFPs out for other groups, 100%.
Okay. And then I wanted to know, are the subcommittee meetings open to the public like this one?
I don't believe, because there's only 3, right? So we need 4 for a quorum in their working meeting, so no decisions are being made at those meetings. It's more, how do we get this stuff in order? Yeah, go. Right, correct, and then that's why we're gonna have that second meeting. Everything will get brought back, and then we can have those discussions on what happened during those
Okay,
working
and
committees.
and I do thank you for the work that you are doing. I know some of you are still working other jobs, so this is, it shows that you're dedicated to the township. My only other comment is, I don't know if you saw the meeting a month ago with Mr. McAndrew.
Yeah, Candy, I'm gonna stop you there. I knew this was gonna come up.
Okay.
I appreciate where you're coming from, and I would just say this. Dennis is an absolute asset to this. He probably goes to more Mill Creek Township meetings than anyone. I understand that there's, something a little bit unfortunate happened. I don't think, again, in my mind, anything malicious would happen. I knew this was gonna come up. Again, I kind of just don't want to bring that up. there's nothing that we can do. I wouldn't want him off the committee, to be honest, but even if we could do something, we can't, right? We have zero power to do any of that. So, I mean, at this point, it's a kind of a moot conversation to bring up, but I hear what you're saying, but hopefully we can kind of move on from that.
Okay, well, my comment is that everybody here is a reflection of the professionalism in the township, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Hi, Art Alla, Jerry, Bondi Drive. I was on the study commission. First of all, thank you for doing this. I know this is a lot of work, and you're going to have a short period of time to do it. My congratulations to the officers, Tom, John, and Matt. I'm sure you'll lead very, very well. I just want to reiterate what you have already said about there are groups out there that already do this for a living. They have timelines, they know exactly how they do it. The people that we worked with, as John knows, we liked very well, ALOM partners. This is what they do. And they can be very, very beneficial at a cost that might be less than, and I know you have no budget yet.
Listen, that's one of the things, I want to bring them on, right? I think you guys spoke so highly of it, John spoke so highly. I think they'd be a massive asset, but again, there's a budget thing that we'll have to work through.
We work with them, almost daily. I would highly recommend talking to them. And best of luck, and if any of the commission members can be of any help, certainly we would be.
I did reach out to you on Facebook, so let's make sure that we meet up.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Marcia Terry. I live on Sterretania. I thank you guys. This is a big, big undertaking. And I just want to let you know too, and I think Art said it, and also Sue, we are here to help you if you need us at all. Okay, I just hope that you all stay open-minded about this. I was one of the alternates, and I worked right along with John on a committee, checking out all the other townships, and it was very, very enlightening. The government study, we put a lot of time and effort, and use us. I think you know everybody that was on the committee, and think about that, and we'd appreciate it. And like Sue said, Art said, there's a lot of people that have done this. This is not something you don't have to invent the wheel. So use all the people that have gone through this. And ALOM, like we were saying, they're good people, they're fair people. I think they would help you out a lot. There was some discussion about them turning us one way or the other, which was completely wrong. We came up with our own ideas. We came up with our final decision on our own, and they are good people. So thank you so much for your time. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I know you'll get it done. And for the citizens of Mill Creek, that's what we wanted, a new government, and so good luck.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Nancy Shea on Holiday Drive. I think you mentioned that when you were talking about the other townships that have done this, that some have done it right and did a really good job and some have botched it. And I think I heard you say that the ones that have botched it tried to do it themselves. And I was wondering if the supervisors will not give you a budget, that would leave no alternative but to do it yourself. And isn't that pretty much actually saying that it's going to be much easier to botch this? Because we're watching really closely, because we're really concerned, like you said, that this is done with the highest degree of standards. And if you need money to do it, we'll have to figure out a way to get it. Because if you need the consultants.
Yeah, no, and I think we're going to work this through. There's multiple avenues. I mean, there's numbers being crunched as I speak right here. So again, I'm sure we'll have more on that at the next meeting. But I mean, Nancy, your point's taken. I mean, we definitely need that. I think everybody in this room knows that.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? That's it, right? We're good?
If you have a
But
motion.
can I
to
get a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Welcome to stay.
Thank you, guys.